Today I'm going to show you how I would set up the FM9 footswitch layout for live applications. The Fractal Audio FM9 is my newest purchase, and it's a kick-ass modeling unit. It has the same sound quality and effects quality like the XFX3, which I also own, but it comes with 9 foot switches, so it's designed for live usage, I think. And I was playing around with this unit, I'm really happy with it, and I programmed the foot switches now, how I would set them up, and I have to say this thing is very flexible, so I would like to show you what I did with the foot switches and how I would use it in a live situation. So I opened the editor of the FM9 for you here, and first of all, let me disengage the wire. The unit is here on the floor, but it's a little bit hard to get it on the camera, so I chose to use the editor. So here is my my effects chain, and it covers quite a lot of effects which I use. And basically the upper row is are the effects which are in front of the amp, or placed before the amp. And here is the amp and the cab, and then these things here come after the amp. So as you can see, here I'm using a wah, phaser block, compressor, parametric EQ, pitch, in front of the amp, which are all disengaged now in this scene. So this is my rhythm scene. I'm using only the amp, the cab, the enhancer block, which makes a wide stereo effect, a compressor, and reverb. In the second scene, I'm using a ping pong delay. It's short, it's not that loud, and it's time-based, so you can tap in the tempo. And in the third scene, it's another kind of delay. It's all within this delay block, but it's different channels. Scene number 4 is light crunch tone, and well, scene number 5 is again another delay, which is the Ingve setting for me, which maybe these things you may know, these kind of delay settings from Ingve. Scene 6 is my clean scene, designed for this guitar, the Harley Benton Fusion, on the split neck pickup. And 7 and 8 is basically 7. It's called phaser, but I don't use this scene, so there's no phaser engaged. But I will come to the effects in a second. Scene 8 is called Vox. It's not the Vox amp, but it kind of reminded me, or I started out with a Vox amp, but I ended up using the band commander for that sound. So it's basically a light crunch tone. It's another amp model here, the band commander. So these are the scenes. And as you may know, there's a difference between scenes, because if you're changing scenes, you're still within one preset. You're just engaging different blocks, as you can see here. And if I change to another preset, for example, this looks more or less the same, except that the flanger block is here. You have this little bit of a gap. So usually it's a little bit annoying to switch presets within one song. So what I would like to do is I would like to use one preset for one song, or at least stay in the same preset for the whole song. Just change between these scenes. Of course, you have 8 scenes. It might be enough for you. Then you can program every scene like you want it for a distinct song. But I want it to be a little bit more flexible. So if you look at the unit here, this is the layout of the foot switches. And as you can see here, you have bank up and down. By the way, this foot switches, they were flexible to program. I will show you that in a second. But in here, it's programmed like that there is the bank up and down. And here you have the presets within this bank. So you can access 5 presets here. And you have this thing, scenes and the effects button. And so that's a layout I'm using here, that I can change presets. And you need this after you finish a song. Maybe you need another preset, then you need this to go to another bank maybe, or choose another preset here. And so here's basically, select a bank, preset 1, select a bank, preset 2. So you're selecting different presets within one bank. And what you can do now is you can change to another layout to control other things. If you, let's say you are in the preset DK chorus here, and you would like to change the scenes within this preset, then you can go to another layout. And as you can see here, these are the layouts. So there's a layout for changing presets, a layout for changing scenes, layout for changing effects, a layout for the looper, and layout for other things, changing channels, for example. And if I go to layout 2, scenes, as you can see here, suddenly other things appear, which are basically name of the scenes within this preset. This is my first scene, the rhythm scene, the second scene, which I showed you before with the ping pong delay, scene number 3 with a Petrucci setting delay. Here's the scene with the Ingve delay, light crunch is my scene number 4. This is my scene number 6, and this is my scene number 8. Number 5 and 7 is not used, or 6. Oh no, this is my scene number 5, sorry. Number 7 is not used. So here I programmed this layout that I can have access to 7 of the 8 scenes. So maybe you were asking why only 7 and not 8 scenes. Well, I use these two buttons here to change between the different layouts. So for example, if I hit this button on the unit, then the layout will go back to the presets layout. And then I can change presets again. The same as here, if I am in this layout, if I hit the scenes button, I will switch to this layout. So then I can change the scenes. So I can go or switch from one layout to another. And in my situation, I'm using another layout, the third layout, which is called effects. And in this layout, I can turn on or off different effects. And for example, here I programmed the button that it will turn on the wah. This button will turn on the phaser block, phaser 1, tremolo. This is a plex delay. And what you can do is you can choose one effect, and in the display you will see the name of the effect here. But also you can use custom names for your presets, and then you can add whatever you want. And there's a plex delay, but I use it for the shimmer function. And here I will turn on the vibe. Here I will turn on another delay. And so this is layout number 3. And this button I programmed to control the tap tempo. Of course, I could have assigned here another category, like also an effect, another effect which I would turn on, but I needed one button for time-based effects, like the tremolo and the maybe this delay here. And we have the other 2 buttons, which I use to go back to the other layouts from here. So I have basically 3 layouts which I use. One layout for changing the presets, one layout for changing the scenes within the preset, and one layout to turn on or off distinct effects. And for example, if I am in this layout here, so maybe I can do it on the unit here, go to the, and I turn on, let's say, the wah, which is in this case an auto wah. So I can show you that if you were interested. This is the wah block. It's engaged if I hit the button. You can see it's disengaged if I hit it again. What it does is, as you can see here, the frequency control is moving up and down. Usually you have to do this with your foot and the expression pedal, but I'm too lazy for that. So what I did is I connected a low frequency oscillator with this control, which is moving constantly up and down here. And it helps. It's very comfortable, of course, and I found it to sound really great if you just use the wah, like maybe Kirk Hammett-ish. If you want to do really rhythmical things with the wah, then maybe you should use the expression pedal. So anyway, go back to the let's go back to the layout. Here the wah is engaged. Disengage the wah. And if it's engaged here, and I go back to, let's say, the scenes, I change to another scene, for example, clean. As you can hear, the wah is still engaged. And that is, of course, it's desired, the desired behavior. And what I did is, here I choose the scene ignore feature. That means it's, if one block is engaged, it's ignoring if you switch to another scene. It will stay engaged if you change the scenes. And of course, if you don't use this, then the wah will maybe be disengaged if it's not selected in the scene. And that is it's really confusing if you don't use the scene ignore feature, because what happens is if you're in, let's say, the rhythm scene and you engage the wah in the effects layout, the thing will remember that you engage the wah in this scene. If you switch to another scene, it's not engaged, maybe. You can engage it again if you want, but it will always remember in which scene you've selected the or engaged the wah, and it will stay like that. So if you go back to the scene where you've selected the wah, and it's turned on again, and that's a little bit confusing because you don't. If you have 8 scenes, you don't remember exactly maybe in which scene you have engaged the wah. Of course, it can be desired behavior in some situations, but for me it's too complicated. So I choose the scene ignore feature, and I like to turn on or off one of these effects, and it stays activated as long as I don't deactivate it. also overall scenes. So that is very flexible, this concept. And of course, you can also use external expression pedals or pedals switches. And I did that too. I used one external switch to change something, one block, which is special for the preset I'm using. So in this case, as you can see, it's called DK Chorus, and that means the special thing which differs here from other presets is the chorus block. And that is always the thing which I am controlling with the external pedal. You can see it's turning on or off the chorus. And the reason why I chose the external switch for that is that this block is not available in other presets. For example, here you have the flange. Okay, the chorus is maybe not the best example because it's also here, but let's go to the rotary. Here, as you can see, the chorus is it disappeared. It's not available here. And if I would have chosen to use one of these buttons for the chorus instead of the tram, for example here, shimmer, okay, no, let's choose this one maybe, phaser 2, so chorus is not here in this preset, so you have one button which is dead in this preset, or it's of no use. And the thing with this layout is you can program it only for the whole, for all presets. So if you change something, it will change in every preset. It's not preset dependent. So let's go back to the, what was it? Phaser 2 maybe? Yeah. And so I used these buttons for effects which are available in all presets. And the reason why I left out the chorus is because it's kind of power consuming. And especially in this block here, if I would have used the chorus block and the rotary is also very power consuming, then I would run out of CPU. So the chorus is not there in all presets. Rotary is also not there in all presets. And the one which, the block which is only available in this preset is the one which I'm calling with the external switch. In this case, the rotary. And as you can see here, it's just engaged by pedal 1, which is the external pedal. And the beautiful thing is, this is goes only for this preset. In the, for example, in the chorus preset, chorus is connected to pedal 1. So with the external pedals, you are a little bit more flexible. You can control things which are, or you can have different functions depending on the presets. That's not the case here with this effects layout. It's always controlling these blocks here in every preset. And if the block is not there in the preset, then it doesn't do anything. One thing which you can also do is you add a different function to the buttons here. For example, I did this here. If I tap on the function here, it goes to the layout where the scenes are selected. But if I hold on the button here, then it goes to the or it activates the tuner. And I did this here, but not on these buttons here, because of course you can also assign could have assigned other effects here. Maybe here you could assign maybe phaser 2, for example, because I'm using 2 phasers in this block and in this patch with different settings. And then if I tap on this thing, it would use phaser 1. If I hold on this button, then it would use phaser 2 with another setting. But that is a little bit confusing to me, because in a live situation I cannot always think do I have to put my foot longer time or shorter time on this tap. So I chose not to use this function. But with the tuner it's a different thing, because usually I'm tuning in between the songs, not during a song. And then I have the time to think which button I have to push. It's always the same. It's always this button, the upper left, which I have to hold, and then the tuner will pop up, and then I can tune the guitar. So as you can see, you can assign 2 functions to each of these things here, and you can use different layouts. And if you are sacrificing here 2 buttons for changing between the layouts, then you're very flexible. Of course, you could stay within one layout the whole time, for example here, and then access all the 8 scenes and do with this switch whatever you want. Or maybe you can use only 2 layouts, like it was set up in stock settings, I think. Then you could choose between presets and scenes feature here, and you had only 1 button and 8 scenes here. And in the presets section you had, I think, here the scenes button, and here maybe the tap tempo. But I changed it a little bit so that I could use the 3rd layout here, the effects layout. Plus my external switch. Very flexible. And so if you want to hear how this thing sounds, please check out my other videos, because in this video I didn't want to show you the sounds, just more about the programming. One thing which I personally like to do is, as you can see, there are many effects in this preset. So usually I would like to have all the effects here, which I use, but as I like to use the plex delay especially for clean tones. Plex delay is something which can create this shimmering sound, which is very nice in some situations. So I wanted to have this block in every preset. And this may by far, I think, or not by far, I don't know about the amp and the cap section, of course, but as you can see here, I have 80% CPU usage now. Also, if I deactivate it, it's still there. And if I wouldn't have this, suddenly I would have 15% more CPU usage. So it's very power consuming. How much does the amp block use? Okay, nothing. Maybe because it was turned off. I don't know. 82. Okay, nothing. And this. Okay, also 10. Cap section is also power consuming. Yeah, but I found out that the chorus, the rotary, and of course the plex delay, they are very power consuming. So I had to throw one thing out, and that was the chorus. So the chorus is not in every patch available, and also the flanger. The reason for that is I don't use the flanger very often. So I made a distinct flanger preset here. And of course the rotary is not available in every preset. So here I can use this preset if I would like to have some parts played with the flanger. And the other things are basically available in every preset. This pitch block here is my my whammy. Currently, I haven't connected the expression pedal, so I have to buy the TSR cable or TRS cable, whatever, to use this. But then I would like to use it as a whammy. But the other things are all there, as you can see here, the tremolo and phaser, and also within one block we have always four channels. We can use different settings of this block, and it's very flexible. So if you're familiar with the XFX, especially the XFX3, it's very very flexible to program. So yeah, you can assign different channels here, different scenes. For example, in this scene, in the amp block, I'm using the Atomica High, which is on channel A, but if I go to this scene, using channel D, which is the band commander amp. Completely different setting, completely different sounds, and that the same goes for the cab section and other things. This unit doesn't have as much power or CPU as the XFX3, but for me it's yeah, it's no problem. And especially if you don't use the Plex delay, I think you will not run into problems. And yeah, I was really surprised how flexible the foot switches are to use with these different layout concepts. So I thought I wanted to, it would be interesting to make a video for you. And yeah, it's for me it's the most flexible control setup I can think of. I don't know exactly about the Quad Cortex. I own this unit too, but it doesn't have a PC editor, so I don't use it now. But anyway, so I hope this helps you to program your FM9, and yeah, please subscribe to my channel. See you soon. Goodbye.